Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. Right, so I do have several clips sent to me with a rank 4 King Groot gameplay. And that is something that I'm definitely interested in myself because I have been absolutely in love with my own King Groot and I do want to see how exactly does it look like. So King Groot actually can put up some really crazy numbers if you kind of synergize him up properly. He sometimes can get like up to 20 Furies within that cycle. And obviously with those 10 armor breaks, if you do ramp him up in longer fights, he actually does much better than people think, because obviously for the first minute he still doesn't get the full fury duration he gets afterwards because of malice and everything like that. So when you actually give King Groot some decent synergy help that helps him with some extra fury buffs and some more poisons, then interesting things can happen. Very interesting things can happen. And we do have about 7 clips. I'm not sure if I'm going to show all of them, but we're going to take a look at the more interesting ones, definitely. So King Groot also has a chance to kind of like get those fury buffs when taking hits in a block. That's why multi-hit special attacks in the block often are quite helpful. It's going to be interesting to see the numbers right now when he has 10 furies, 3 armor breaks. So it is 10,000 damage per tick on those per hit on those special attacks with a level 2, and then we can see there's about 1400 poison coming out, which is not bad at all considering how long it is. So at this point you can also see he's starting to pause them, and Winter Soldier's health is declining quite rapidly, I would say. Obviously still there are champions that are quicker than King Groot when it comes to dealing with Winter Soldier, but nonetheless still very interested to see. And this is against a non-hero champion. Now King Groot has synergies, and he also naturally procs more of these fury buffs against hero champions, which is going to be Storm. So against Winter Soldier he managed to get up to like 10 furies or so, but against Storm we should see higher number of furies and even bigger damage. Now we're going to have some fights outside of Realm of Legends and also a Labyrinth of Legends solo, but first I just do want to see how well he's going to do in this fight. And then we're going to take a look against the Vision fight as well, because against robots, yes, robots are typically poison immune. However, he does get 300% damage increase on his special too. So that also can be quite interesting. And here we can see that already he's going to go into 14 furies here with the first transition, well, first set of his furies. So having 14 furies, dropping a nice level 2 should do quite decent damage. It was also a 16k medium. Why not? 16k medium. 1600 damage from the fury buffs, quite sweet. And let's see how many he manages to build up this time. We can see that the number there is increasing quite rapidly. Unfortunately there it did seem to stop for a while, didn't lock out an RNG, so it's only going to be 15 furies, but we're back to 18k medium. So King Groot, why not again? And we can see that the poisons are putting in some really solid work. He's going to pause them for 6 seconds now with heavy attack. The one thing that I really do wish on King Groot is that he had, like so many different champions, better reach on his heavy attack. But this fight, 1 minute 17 seconds, 76 hit, not too bad. Let's take a look at Vision and how it goes up against robots. This should also be quite interesting because it is a hero champion robot, so he should be able to get plenty of fury buffs here too. So initially, as always, going to go for level 1 just to get a few armor breaks in there. Why not? And now he needs to try and rush quickly to level 2 the best he can. He hate that level 2, possibly on purpose. I don't know. Either way, so here we are at 12 furies, 13 furies, and that's not quite a ton. You definitely can get 20 plus furies with King Groot if RNG kind of smiles upon you. But however, here we can see that this level 2, so we had 40k per tick and about 5 ticks, so I think that level 2 did about 200k damage there with the King Groot. I think that was around 200k damage. Let's see how much this last and final level 2 is going to do, and how long this fight lasted in general. So he's going to have 15 furies, and with 15 furies, 47k per hit, and there's like 4 or 5 of those hits. So again, well over 200k damage overall. 67 hits, 1 minute and 4 seconds. So who knew King Groot might be a fairly quick Realm of Legends potion option, right? So here's going to be fight against a Deadpool. I believe this is the Act 6 Deadpool that a lot of people love clobbering recently as well. If I'm not mistaken, it's 6.31, 6.32, something like that. No, wait, 6.41. I don't remember. I don't remember anymore. But obviously, well, King Groot does have access to 10 permanent armor breaks, and that alone is more than enough to kind of like fully benefit from despair and completely shut down any and all healing opponents might have. But in most cases, you don't even need to go for the 10 armor breaks. In most of the fights, you just kind of go straight for level 2s or just drop one level 2 and, one level 1 and then go for level 2s. So here he's gonna go and drop a level 2, and that does 1500 poison damage. Quite neat. Now he probably just wants to get in a heavy attack to pause that fury a bit, or maybe don't even bother with that. So you can see absolutely melted Deadpool. One of the coolest things about King Groot obviously is the regeneration, and this fight is gonna showcase plenty of regeneration as well as the interaction with Gimme lanes, because obviously Gimme basically doesn't care about how much damage you deal to the opponent, because you mainly deal damage to the opponent by healing. So once you trigger your regen, we can see that he's ticking for 489 per tick. Man, it's really so hard to get wrecked with this King Groot. If you have a rank 4 SIG 200 King Groot, I mean, in most of the fights, you'll be borderline immortal, man. So we can see that one cycle of regeneration took out like 40% of that superior Iron Man's health, or close to that. But hey, at this point, he was actually hitting for 10k. That doesn't seem quite right. But either way, that Gimme is obviously ticking down quite well. Oh, there we go. There we go. He's taking hits on purpose just to keep on the Gimme damage going against superior Iron Man. Just because obviously he can't heal if he's at full health. Should have probably eaten that. And now he's going to drop level 3, which is going to trigger regeneration. And that will obviously finish out this fight very quickly. And then the next fight we have against Power Alternator. And that is also one of the coolest things that I actually use fairly frequently in Alliance Quest Map 8. The thing about King Groot is his power can't really be drained or burned or anything like that. And that also includes nodes like Plagued Mind and Power Alternator and alike. So in this case, what happens if King Groot has more power than the opponents do when Power Alternator would hit? Opponents simply lose all of their power, but they do not get any of King Groot's. So it's actually a very, very cool interaction. We can see that every single time that would happen, opponents are going to lose all of the power that they have. And then obviously, once again, we're going to see how well King Groot can heal up. So now again, he has no power, so he kind of ideally wants to get more power than that Gamora has there, which he has done. And now again, pay attention to Gamora's power level. Pay attention to Gamora's power, and it just disappears. It just magically disappears thanks to Power Alternator. So Power Alternator is meant to be a node that's quite annoying for you, and by the definition in the node's description, there is no upside to you, because the node either does nothing if you have more power, if you have less power than the opponent does, or the node kind of screws you over if you have more power than the opponent. But if you use King Groot and Power Alternator, then there is pretty much only upside. So it's kind of interesting how he turns the tables on the entire node there himself. So I do absolutely love that aspect of King Groot as well. And then finally, we do have a Labyrinth of Legends fight against Star-Lord. And this one is actually quite good, because I have done this fight several times myself with the rank 3, and it can be incredibly fun. And it is quicker than many people think, again, just because in longer fights, once you ramp up King Groot properly, his damage really, really does come out and show itself. Obviously, you do still deal with the half of the fight when you do not hit for a lot of damage, but if you do have the 10 armor breaks on the opponent, then it's not necessarily the worst thing. I do think, however, he's going to go for the full-on poison strategy here and not worry too much about the armor breaks, but we'll see about that. I personally do like to build up those 10 armor breaks in longer fights such as this, But you can also just rely on having a couple of poison stacks ticking at every given moment, and then, you know, throwing more heavy attacks. So it's kind of like a preference. For me, typically, I just like to be super aggressive and have the 10 armor breaks and don't worry too much about pausing the poison, because you can cow, you know, them pretty much on all the time anyways. But here we are. We are still dealing a nice burst damage on those level 2s. And obviously when the Fury buffs are active, then we can see that King Groot actually whacks for quite good damage. So there, a few hits in a block just to try and get more Furies for the next phase. Why not? Here, I think he's going to whiff an attack, which is a bit unfortunate. But it's quite a-okay. 9 Furies, that will be enough to do decent damage. And 27k heavy attack crit. Why not? And let's just go for another level 2 here. And those level 2s really do quite a lot of damage. So here he paused the Furies for 3 seconds. I believe it was 3 seconds because he didn't have a Fury buff active to consume and make it 6. And now we can see that 86 hits if he didn't lose his combo. Star-Lord is at 77%. And obviously now first minute of the fight has expired, so his Furies are more potent. They typically last longer as well, I believe, and we can see that numbers are going to be going up as well. The kind of key in these fights with King Groot, ideally for really high damage output, is just the ability to stay aggressive. And if you are able to be super aggressive, then obviously you will get more Fury buffs and you will be dealing more damage, and the opponents are going to be going down quicker and quicker because your poisons are going to be dealing more damage too. Here you can see at this point he has 2 poisons already active. He gets the third one there. He's going to go in for a heavy to pause them, and yeah, that poison damage is quite spicy at this point. I don't like using that word. I don't like using that word either. But here we are. So one of the poisons, I do believe, fell off. Unfortunately, I think 2 of them did at this point. But still, the one that remained is dealing 7 at 1,700 per tick. So that's 3,400 poison damage every second. And he's going in for another. Made it just in time. And this one is ticking for 2k here. So this one is also, again, very juicy poison. And that Star-Lord is pretty much already halfway down. Again, in fight that is this length, I would have loved to see those 10 armor breaks just to see the full extent of King Groot's damage, but still 29k heavy attacks, nothing to scoff at, considering that he's also a sustainability machine. King Groot is one of my favorite champions to kind of play with, and he's also actually one of the MVPs for a lot of stuff in Act 7, at least for me, just because of how he can play relying on debuffs or then not relying on debuffs, and the fact that those debuffs can be permanent, the fact that he's super sustainable, obviously shrugging off debuffs all the time, healing like nobody's business, access to poison. Man, there's so many things to love about this champion now, and I know I do. Rank 3 King Groot's one of my personal favorite champions in the game at the moment. And we can see that as we have been talking throughout the course of this fight, Star-Lord's already down at 33%, and that poison damage is just relentless, ticking down there in the background like nobody's business. So again, he goes in for 10 Furies. Why not? He just needs to make it to another level 2 to kind of capitalize on this cycle, but he needs to bait out that level 2 from Star-Lord before anything else. So it does appear that he's going to be kind of a bit late here, so he can at least pause the poisons with his heavy attack before his Furies expire. But now he should be in decent position for his next level 2, especially if he does manage to hit Star-Lord's block a bit before that happens, in order not to push himself past, well, to the 3rd bar power. So here we are, again, another poison applied, not too bad, 25% left in the Star-Lord, so 75% health is already gone. We're going to see the final fight stats that I do kind of want to see myself, to be honest, how long it took, how many hits, and all that other stuff. But I think it's a very nice showcase of a chunky King Groot here. Full yellow bar still at the very end, despite having a few hits to the face. That's also something, you know, to enjoy. And eating plenty of recall damage. I do believe that over the course of this fight, he probably lost more than half his health to recoil, but obviously we never even really noticed because it just gets healed back up immediately. And there we can see again, full yellow bar there. Why not? Let's see, plenty of poison ticks there. Why not? And again, he's going to go for his level 2. So the first enrage timer has just expired. And Star-Lord's at 9%. Again, nice heavy attack there. And let's see how much is there left still. Oh no, King Groot is at 80% health. Whatever will happen. By the time he finishes that healing phase, he's probably going to be like 90-some easily. Yeah, there you go. 95% back from 80 and taking some block damage. So like 15% health easy recovered in one cycle there. Man, I love King Groot's sustainability. He's such a chunky boy. And here we can see that it was 260 hits and 6 minutes and 27. So not too bad at all. And yeah, seeing this video, I do know for a fact at some point I will rank 4 my King Groot. I do think that I have Hercules up already. Thinking about it, who else do I want to rank up before King Groot, to be honest? Well, Silver Surfer for prestige, besides that. I think he might be straight after that. I do think I want rank 4 King Groot over rank 4 Corvus and CGR. Oh, Hyperion. I probably want Hyperion rank 4 before. So, he's not far. We're going to see rank 4 King Groot at some point on my account as well, I think. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know I did. And if you did, hit that like button, hit that sub button, and I'm going to catch you guys soon. See ya.
Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about the